Wanted to establish a common link between the different African passports, but there's a special connection and there's a special benefit. In fact, a couple of magical benefits that are associated with the 5 African passports. And I'm going to discuss the advantages and who this is good for and why one should consider getting this. And then I'm also going to touch upon topics like passport swapping or residency swapping, what that is, where that fits into the overall context. And then also a lot of people are interested in name change, legal name change. Maybe it's a cultural thing, maybe it's a cultural association with the country or any other legal matter for which you would want to change your name. In a couple of days, literally this is thrown in as part of the package, right? You have the option with some of these countries. So I'm going to touch upon that aspect as well. Now, before we get started, please do me a favor. It takes a lot of effort to get you content like this, right? So if you're subscribed to the channel, it really helps boost the channel. It makes a big impact. It does not cost anything, but then it helps me keep you updated on all the changes on different programs. As soon as the program is launched, usually this is the very first channel where it's introduced. So if you are subscribed, then you would obviously be notified of any changes as and when they happen. So please do me a favor, check your subscription and turn it on if you aren't yet subscribed. So what are the different passports in scope here? There are 5 African passports. I'm going to talk about each and see which one really fits best. What is my particular choice in Africa? And the first one in Africa that started at the backdrop of Turkey is the Egypt CBI. You purchase a property for 300k USD anywhere in Egypt, and then you can qualify for an Egyptian CBI. Is this an instant citizenship? Well, it's not as instant as one might think. So obviously you got to first purchase the property. In reality, you got to have a developer property in order to properly ensure that it qualifies. That's just the way it is. And it's not an instant citizenship, in my opinion. It does take some time, right? So just like Turkey takes a year and a half. Egypt might be slightly faster, but sometimes it could run up to that price point. Egypt does have that access to Mauritius that I was talking about. The second on this list is Sao Tome and Principe, the latest entrant. They got the price slightly okay. It's not right. I think it would have been better if they would have had this listed at $70,000. 90,000 is a little overpriced for what it offers. It does have a technicality. We call it CPLP, the Portuguese speaking affiliation, but because this is a CBI, I don't know if it will be accepted, not accepted. That's something that has to be seen and checked. With time, we would know. Do I recommend Sao Tome and Principe? Maybe if you're collecting a 5th or a 6th passport, then this may. Again, Sao Tome and Principe does have Mauritius. The next one on the list is Sierra Leone, and this is my least favorite citizenship on this list because they have listed this at 140, 150, with service fees and all those things. It could run up to 150. I don't like this citizenship because it doesn't have much to offer. Yes, it may have the ECOWAS, but you're not paying that amount for ECOWAS. I would not pay that amount for ECOWAS. And again, none of this is immigration, legal or tax or finance advice. This is just my pure opinion. You obviously need to consult a professional and then make your decisions. But I feel they need to be more aligned with what the market standard demands. I think they need to drastically drop their CBI to be competitive. Now that you have other countries come up with competitive pricing, 140k USD is not going to fly high in my opinion. I think it should drop down to 55 or 60k USD. At that price, there would be demand. At that price, people would want to just collect it and keep it on the side. Maybe they use it, maybe they don't use it. But Sierra Leone nonetheless has that access to Mauritius. The 4th on the list is the latest news, the latest buzz, the Botswana CBI, citizenship by investment. They are claiming, or they just wanted to do a marketing buzz. They're saying 75k to 90k. In reality, when they launch it, I feel it's going to be somewhere close to that 100k mark. Is it going to launch anytime soon? I don't think so. I think the first half of 2026 we may see this program. Is it worth waiting for this program? I personally don't think so, because the prices obviously are going to be much higher with the service fees and all those things. That's my opinion. And then you've not seen that program. Might as well go for something that's already available, which is in a lower price point or the similar price point that they would eventually offer this one at. The 5th option is one of my favorite options, the CPLP and ECOWAS option, right? You get both advantages. It's at a lower price point as compared to some of these options. nations. And then that also has visa-free access to Mauritius, Philippines, Singapore. All the interesting countries in Asia will either have an e-visa or a direct access on that passport. So you can enter the country, the destination country. Let's say you're doing a Philippines PR or a Mauritius PR, then of course you can strike that. Let's say you're getting visas to other countries and you want a respectable jurisdiction, then you have countries like Singapore where you have visa-free access to. So now what is passport swapping or residency swapping? Now when you have a legally acquired citizenship, a new citizenship, let's say you want to get your residency before you got your residency before you got the new citizenship, and let's say you legally acquired your residency on a stronger nationality. So let's say you've used your Canadian or your American passport to obtain a residency permit, and you are then upgrading or downgrading your citizenship. So let's say you're upgrading, you're getting an EU passport, a better passport with better access. Obviously, the EU is a better passport because you get access to the Schengen, you get lifetime mobility. You don't have that on the Canadian or the American passports. So therefore, I think the EU passport is an upgrade when you compare that with the US or the Canadian one. So let's say you're upgrading your nationality and you want to switch your residency permit. Let's say you've acquired a Mauritius or a Dubai or any other residency permit, right? That's quick and easy to obtain. And now you have upgraded your nationality to, let's say, an EU passport, then switching your residency from the previous nationality to the new nationality or the upgraded nationality, vice versa. Alternatively, if you're downgrading your nationality, right? So you have a US, you have a Canadian, you have an Australian, and you want to get a weak passport for strategic reasons. It's a name change situation or privacy situation or protection situation in certain cases. You're on the right, they are in the wrong, and you're trying to protect yourself or secure yourself, and you're intentionally looking for the right kind of weak or downgraded nationality. So you're left alone, you have less craziness going on, or you have more protection. Then switching your residency, the right strategic residency from that powerful passport to the legally acquired second nationality. A lot of countries that provide residency options don't care about the full baggage that you carry or how many passports you have. All they care about is the active nationality that you intend to use to get into their country. And that is what matters. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because a lot of residencies are straightforward and easy, visa-free access, go inside and obtain your residency permit, right? Low-hanging fruit, easy to acquire. It may not be as easy to acquire once you change your nationality. So if you're already grandfathered into a particular residency permit and then your intention is to then downgrade your nationality, then you're tossing or moving your legally acquired residency permit on your previous nationality to your new nationality, and that is what is legally shifting your residency permit on the right kind of passport. So it does not matter how you acquired it initially, but what really matters is what you're keeping it associated with. So the time comes to actually use your residency permit, then you legally are switching your residency permit to the most up-to-date nationality, and then you're presenting that nationality because that is associated with your residency permit. So let's say you're doing your banking or financial stuff, then a lot of banks will want to know what is your active nationality that you have used to enter the country, and then of course your residency status in that country. So you're presenting a passport, the active passport that you have used to enter the country, and secondly then you're presenting your residency card, whether it's a temporary or a permanent. You're presenting that and then opening up your accounts or doing your business or financial transactions in that place of residence. So now what is the link that I'm talking about? This is really important. The link is the visa-free access to a particular strategic residency that you get, and I'm particularly talking about Mauritius. And there's a hidden reason why I'm saying this, a secret reason which is very important. A lot of people don't realize all these passports, or most of these passports, all have visa-free entry to Mauritius, which is super important because then you can enter Mauritius and then strike your permanent residency from inside, which makes life a lot easy. So all the nationalities, the 5 nationalities that I'm referencing, they all have direct visa-free access to Mauritius. That's only one part, right? Some have 6 months entry and some have business access. So you can actually have 120 days of direct business access. So you can do your business in Mauritius, and then of course you can strike your permanent residency in Mauritius as and when you want. And then, as I said, you can flip or switch your residency permits across these passports, which makes it super unique. So you have your Plan A nationality, it has access to Mauritius. You have your Plan C or Plan D nationality, which also has a visa-free access to Mauritius. And you don't want, a lot of people actually don't want to associate this Mauritian permanent residency with their home country nationality, the powerful nationality. And there's a strategic reason for it. Mauritius is a place where you can reduce your taxes. So Mauritius is a place where you can actually lead a good life, a happy life, because it speaks in English. It's a safe country. It has all the facilities that you would need when shit hits the fan. So when the times are bad, that's one location where you can actually reside and spend as much time as you want. So when you have this permanent residency in your back pocket, which is lifelong, and it does not require any minimum physical presence to maintain, so that is a big advantage. And secondly, you don't necessarily want to inform your home country about stuff, so you want to keep this Mauritian option private. And that's why you see a lot of people with strong nationalities actually using their second nationality or acquiring a second nationality to keep things legally private, and then they would strike a Mauritian residency and then keep that combination aside. And this is an insurance policy for a lot of people. You want to strike this insurance policy, secure it, and keep it in your back pocket, so when it's needed, it's already available for you. So apart from just the English speaking jurisdiction, apart from the French being the second language, apart from being safe and secure, so when shit hits the fan, you can easily move to Mauritius. Apart from those standard advantages, what it really shines for is the tax advantages. It does function like a territorial system if you play this right. If you keep your earnings outside, then it looks at it from a territorial perspective. It's a bit complex, so that's what our CPA works with you to classify, categorize, and all of that. And it has the GBC advantage. So you don't need the Dubais, you don't need the Qatars, you don't need the Omans. You have Mauritius, it's an English-speaking country. You can deal with the people, right? For a change, you can actually understand the language and know what you're trying to do, not rely on some local agent who doesn't know how to speak in English. High and by is not going to fly. You need to have the right language in the right jurisdiction if you're going to spend some time. If you're going to do the taxes, you don't want to rely on any Tom, Dick, and Harry telling you what to do. You want full control, and that is where I feel Mauritius shines. So we do have the option of creating the GBC for you. Year over year, there's maintenance of this GBC. There's a tax professional, a professional CPA assigned to your case, and there's obviously full residency support. You get this issued for 10 years initially, so you really don't need any support for the next 10 years. But once it's time for renewal, we can get this sorted out for you. And before getting Mauritius, if you are interested in gaining any of the 5 African nationalities to place this Mauritian residency on, they can always click the link, book a call. We can discuss which CBI is the best for you. We can do this as a package. We can start Mauritius and a CBI and combine the two and create a backup option for you. All right, so if you liked this video, then give me a thumbs up and catch you in the next one.